Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Hey, this is Julie, and thank you for joining me for another SOFHAB on Netflix review. In this one, I want to talk to you very quickly about a documentary called Remembering Gene Wilder. And for those of you who are familiar with him, you've seen him in a lot of comedy movies, ranging from Willy Wonka, Mel Brooks films, The Producers, Blazing Saddles, and Young Frankenstein, with Richard Pryor as a co-star in Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and Another
He's
You.
naive, he's
But
innocent,
it appears
he's
that there
sweet,
was much more to
simple,
Gene
and
Wilder
honest.
than we ever thought
But when he got
or knew.
excited, he
Before I
was
get
a
started, be
volcano.
sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, beauty, Netflix reviews, and so much more, including JJK. So how did this come about? Well, originally this was under production before COVID-19 pandemic, and it was delayed. But the filmmakers were finally able to interview Mel Brooks, whose participation made the difference in the final film, the producers said. So, this is a biographical documentary film about Wilder's life and career, as well as his battle in the end years with Alzheimer's disease. Directed by Ron Frank, and executive produced by Julie Nimoy. Yes, related to that Nimoy and David Knight. Runs about 92 minutes, and it actually was shown at the Los Angeles Jewish Film Festival, where it earned a little over $165,000. So what makes this a standout and special why you should watch it? Well, one, if you are a Wilder fan from any of these films, learning more about him would be fantastic. I personally have watched him in Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, as well as Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, because of family members, and of course Willy Wonka, which is my favorite performance by him. And because of that, I decided I wanted to know more, which I found I really knew nothing about this man. What makes this a standout documentary is that there's rare home videos and scenes from his films, and it also has a whole lot of audio with Gene Wilder speaking himself. Finding out that he was not only an actor but also a writer and director was fascinating. In addition, it includes interviews from former cast and crew members, as well as personal memories from his family and friends who share their love for what his comedic genius meant for film in Hollywood. As I mentioned, Mel Brooks makes an appearance, and that's always great. Big fan of Mel Brooks. His second wife, Karen Wilder, and as you know, he was at one point married to Gilda Radner from Saturday Night Live fame, who passed prior to him. You've got Carol Kane, Henry Connick Jr., Rain Pryor, the daughter of Richard Pryor, Dick Cavett, Eric McCormick, and quite a few others that you may recognize when you see them. So first, where did the idea for this film come from? Well, Wilder was actually friends with Leonard Nimoy. And their friendship began when Nimoy directed him in Funny About Love in 1990. So, they saw a press conference announcing that his widow, Karen Wilder, was partnering with the Alzheimer's Association to raise awareness about the disease that ended Wilder's life. And Nimoy and Knight have produced the 2017 documentary Remembering Leonard Nimoy. And when I say Nimoy, I mean Julie. I want to make that clear. And his widow supported that project as well and granted the filmmakers access to personal photos and home movies for this one as well. Wilder's narration is taken from the audiobook version of his 2005 memoir, Kiss Me Like a Stranger, My Search for Love and Art. I think after seeing this, I would like to hear the full audiobook. He reads it himself, and I really love when performers and actors and people are interested in have biographies that are audiobooks and they read it themselves. I would rather hear them than other people who they think will sound better, because not only does it make it more personal, but it makes it more interesting. What I really loved about this docuseries and what documentary, and I recommend that you watch it, is very poignant, very down to earth, very calming. And you learn so much about him, not only from his childhood, but also his teen years, where he was born, how he was reared, his beliefs. He actually had four wives, I'm sorry. Mary Mercer, Mary Jones Schutz, Gilda Radner, who passed in 1989, and Karen Boyer, who is his widow. But it's fascinating how he came into being this comedian and the jobs he had prior to that, and his genius being recognized by Mel Brooks. And I love the way Mel Brooks talks about him. You can see there was a love there for him, and that they truly excuse me, loved each other as friends. And until the end of his life, they were friends, which is fantastic. I always love that. Learning about his military service, his acting career, his personal life. And Wilder died August 29th, 2016 at the age of 83 at home. And he died of Alzheimer's complications. And prior to that, they even show some interviews where he began to forget things that would have been common for him, and experiencing bouts of where his widow would have to assist him in doing things. And I have to say, this is the saddest part, because you see this man who had a love of life and people and just making others happy be reduced to someone who didn't know what was going on, who was really affected by this disease. And I also enjoyed seeing his relationships with people he worked in the movies with, including Richard Pryor, and learning that at first they just worked together and then they would part. But later on in movies, they actually became friends, and each was empathetic and understood what the other person was going through. It's just a fantastic watch. Now, I will tell you that I cried at the end of this. He died in 2016. Didn't know anything about how he passed, just remember hearing it on the news. And although it's been so long ago, I still cried, because this documentary is very emotionally produced, and it affects you in a way you don't expect. So if you love documentaries like I do, if you want to hear about one of the greatest comedic geniuses in all of Hollywood, if you want to see more about the man who portrayed Willy Wonka first and the best, if you just want to know more about Gene Wilder and you don't know anything, I recommend you watch this on Netflix. It is exclusive as far as I know. If you've already seen Remembering Gene Wilder, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? And did it affect you at the end in learning how he left this world? If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining me. I love sharing these tidbits with you of things I watch. And this isn't something I normally would have watched. I love documentaries, but I really didn't know much about Gene Wilder, and now I do. So I'm really happy I watched it. So be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, and beauty, Netflix reviews, JJK, and reviews featuring Masculine Entertainment, who will be joining me in a couple more reviews, and so much more. My name is Julie. Continue to be happy, healthy, whole, and oh so wonderful, my specials. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you more than you know. Love you guys. See you next time.
I wanted to be wilder.